I was trying to consider letting her go to school Monday or Tuesday, and I told her show me that she could go to school and show me she got her stuff together. She come pulling out pencils and highlighters. That ain't what I want to see. I want to see masks, two masks, hand sanitizer, wipes in a Ziploc bag, anything to
Look,
keep you from
The thing
gloves.
that
ready for
Y'all ain't
this
ready
one.
for this one.
Diverse Thoughts Video Podcast.
Put them damn kids to
girl,
bed.
I got to go. Diverse thought system.
That's my shit.
You are not going to always like what someone else says, and you should always be able to voice your own opinions respectfully.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Diverse Thought, our mother's experience of virtual learning. 1 week down, ladies. Yay!
Yay!
Okay, so we're going to start by introducing ourselves. My name is Sungwryter. I am one of the co-hosts of Diverse Thoughts podcast. And we also have Bestyet Journey in here. Wave to the people.
Hey guys.
We have Mrs. Monica Wilson in the building. And we have April Cherry in the building. All right. Okay, so let's get it going. Okay, so we're gonna start. Monica, let's start with you.
Okay.
Okay. How do you feel about being at home with you have a daughter?
Yes.
You have one child at home, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how is it being at home with your daughter and teaching her? Well, first of all, tell everybody how old she is.
Oh, so I have a daughter. She just started school this year. I didn't let her go last year because me working in the school system, I realized the pre-K program in Norfolk sucks. So, but I tried it this year. She's going to pre-K 4. She's 4. I actually quit a job. I had 2 jobs. I quit a job to stay home and do the learning thing. So with her.
Okay. And
And
how's
I'm
that
not
been going
working.
for you?
Oh no, it sucks. I only was able to get up there 2 times. The teacher, she's really cool, but she's older, so she wasn't sending me the proper links, and she just trying to get used to it. And then I realized, like, I've been teaching her so long, they learned, like, let's count to 3, and she can count to 100. So every time we get off Zoom, I gotta keep teaching her so she can stay on the level that she's on, because she'll digress and go back. So
Gotcha.
yeah, it's been kind of rough.
So it's been more of a technical difficulty.
Yeah, technical
than anything.
difficulty, and it's like only reason I'm actually letting her get up there is to interact with other kids, because I don't think she's gonna learn nothing at all.
Because she's already advanced. She
Yeah,
already has it down.
Yeah, she already passed that level. So
How is it with the morning routine with her?
we was used to getting up at 5 anyway, but one of the jobs I wasn't working, so we had to get back into the swing of it. It was kind of rough. I was trying to do afternoons, but the teacher, like, they didn't get enough kids in their class. I guess a lot of parents not signing up, like, for the pre-K program. Usually it's packed, so we doing mornings, because she was like, she ain't had nobody in the afternoon, so we switched to mornings. But I don't know, it's all right. The teacher's really good. I feel bad for the teachers, because it's just, a lot of older teachers that don't know the technology. So that's what we're dealing with right now. So
Okay. All right, Miss Cherry. How many children do you have at home that are school age students?
2 that are in school, both in high school. So, I mean, the good thing is with them being in high school, they're already very technical. They know the ins and outs of the computer, different things like that. In fact, they've helped me sometimes. So I'm very blessed in that aspect. So I do feel for the younger ones or the parents that do not know how to operate computers correctly.
Yeah. So how are they adjusting with, because they're in high school, so how are they adjusting with the virtual experience?
They're adjusting, but like Monica said, a lot of the teachers are still adjusting. Some teachers weren't sending out the passcodes to get onto Zoom. So my oldest, she missed an entire class bell. She couldn't link on because she never received the email to get onto it. Wow. So yeah.
And they are because I know them in high school, do they feel like they're ready to get back into, the regular schedule, regular school and everything, or are they okay being home?
No, they want to go back to school real bad.
They
Just
do want
see
to go back to
friends
school.
and conversate and get into activities and clubs and things like that.
Yeah.
They
Do you think
really want.
that's like one of the hardest things for them is just being home and not interacting with other children and that kind of thing?
Well, I mean, they still interact with other children as far as family, cousins. I mean, we have a big family, so that's not a big thing. But, friends is big because that's the person that you confide into. Your friend is someone who you tell your secrets to versus somebody you wouldn't necessarily tell a secret to your family member or your cousin because you're afraid it might get out.
Yeah, I understand. I totally understand that. All right, Bestyet, your turn. You have a school-age child at home. What grade is she in?
She's an 8th grader this year.
How does she like the virtual home experience?
She doesn't complain about necessarily liking or dislike. Oh yeah, her first complaint was she wanted to email. She emailed about a teacher because she didn't show up in class. I'm gonna look this way because it looked.
Yeah, that was the camera. I don't know where you were looking at.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look directly at you. But her first problem was she had a teacher that didn't show up for class, so she emailed on that teacher. That was the first virtual day, which was Wednesday. So she emailed about the teacher, and the teacher sent the link. And when she went in the link, the class was over. She was upset. She was like, that wasn't even 10 minutes. Like, she won't in the class. Then I reached out to her. She reached back to me, and I get in there. She told me also what class was over. Well, what is going on exactly?
Yeah.
So that was one thing. And another thing, they said the class is going to be virtual. And Thursday and Friday was no virtual. They said this is virtual, but it's not virtual. It's kind of like PPing for a second, and then they're still on their own. I don't know about, elementary school, but I know as far as middle school, 8th graders, good thing she's, independent, know her way around the internet, know her way around emails, different things like that. But as far as the system, and I'll just go ahead and touch base, how I feel about it. Of course, she wants to go back to school. She don't.
Right.
She's the only child basically. So she tells me, it's no really big deal. She don't know nobody, but she wants to be seen. She wants to go out and see the world. She doesn't want to be secluded here. But I am more so worried about that Rona. That Rona is real.
Yeah.
And I've had the talks with her about what's important. So now she's kicking it in me that her attendance and her college and what college people want to think, because I actually signed her up for a 5-day virtual. Well, they said they never got my virtual, so they signed her up for hybrid. And hybrid is they go to school 2 days and then they turn around and come home for 3 days virtual. Wow. So I didn't send her to school. Monday was a holiday. First day of school was Tuesday. I didn't send her to school on Tuesday. I started reaching back out. Now, mind you, they're up here in Columbia, South Carolina. You can tell they don't have everything together. You can tell. You can tell because who sends a schedule out over the holiday weekend? Had we got that schedule out,
yeah, you should have got it in advance.
If I would have got the schedule in advance, we would have saw the mistake and it wouldn't be a problem. Now, the problem with her being 5 days virtual, they said there's no more room in virtual. Oof. They said there's no more room.
How is that even possible?
It's no more room in virtual.
Because they want people to show up.
Yeah.
I'm thinking they
want her to,
I think they want her to show up. Yeah. I really do. But I don't feel comfortable with that. So now I'm in the process. So now if she doesn't show up on Monday and Tuesday, she's marked absent on Mondays and Tuesdays. So her biggest fear is referrals and attendance record because she goes to school every day. This has always been a child who
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, them doing that, because if a child is absent more than 10 days, they can fail.
Damn.
No,
So
it used to be 21 days. Oh, I went to the
oh
school.
no. Once you go
It's
up,
10
them
days.
high schools and stuff, it's 10 days.
They're at basically, when I called out to the school and I was trying to stress that it was wrong, they basically said that there's no more room and that she has to go on the waiting list. When I went to the school board to address my concerns about everything, they said the same thing. I let them know you sound very stripped. You saying exactly what the other young lady said. And she said, we did get an email. This is stripped. I said, well, that's why I came down, because I knew it was going to be stripped. At the end of the day, I did well, and she thanked me for, of course, not blowing up and all of that stuff. But I let her know, yes, I was still angry about it, but I'm going to still make some noise about it. I'm on the fence on sending her Monday. I'm on the fence. She's now trying to find reasons she need to go for her computer messing up. Her computer.
Your daughter?
Yeah. Her computer messing up. She got
Wow.
the only way she can get her computer fixed is she go to school. So she trying to find a way to get in school. That's just by saying stuff outside her net like I'm gonna fall for it, because it was working fine Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So why all of a sudden you need to go to school to get the dead computer fixed?
Oh, she
Yeah,
over it.
I,
She
I
like,
think,
I got
yeah,
to go.
I think I would have already taken that computer back to the school and say I need a whole new one.
Yeah, but we took the computer back to the school before the school started, so I know that she has either a different computer. I don't know what they did to it. I think they gave her some buttons she was missing, and a button missing all over again. Because they provide the computers, and she had them over the whole year.
Yeah.
So as far as virtual schooling, they're not really virtual. These teachers are in their house.
Yeah.
They're in their house. They're putting them on more breaks than a kindergartner.
Yeah.
They're not. They're still independent. And I think because if you are a high schooler or a middle schooler, you have that independency, because that's what they bring. As they start getting out of elementary school, they have to learn how to be independent. Ain't no hole in their head.
I mean, yeah, but there are high schoolers that are mentally challenged, like my nephew, who is struggling immensely. Immensely. He's having issues just even accessing his email. And, there's a code that they give each child to log into the website, plus their passcode. And we're having to reach out to the school.
That's a whole nother level. That is that is a big consideration of it all. You know what I'm saying? Because, me just thinking of a child who, just have normal abilities. What about the kids who have mental challenges that need their education, that still go to school? Because no child left behind. Because, you do have kids, in special education that get schooling. What are they getting right now? I'm thankful to have a child without those needs. But what about April's nephew?
Yeah.
Who's having
So they're not one of the. I'm sorry. So they're not. Is it Virginia Beach that's allowing some kids to go to school that has disabilities? One of the cities is allowing kids with disabilities to come in.
It's only been certain days, and it is a very small group. So they're not having all the kids.
Yeah. I know I was told by the teacher here in Virginia Beach, because I went up there to pick up my kids' supplies, and he told me that Chesapeake, no matter what, on September 22nd, I believe, they're all going. They're going back to school.
Oh.
Everybody in Chesapeake is starting September 22nd back in school. In Virginia Beach, they're trying to get it so that the students start back before the end of the month. I'm personally not sending my children. My children will not be a part of y'all test and study and see how it goes. If you put kids out there with corona, and these are elementary school kids, they're not wearing no mask all day. They're not gonna social distance. They're gonna be my children are they're excited about going back. Now I will say, as far as the virtual part of it, their teachers have been really helpful. It's been a lot of technical difficulties with Zoom, so I think that's more of an issue. But other than that, my daughter, she's in second grade. her teacher is doing excellent as far as communicating, and I communicate back and forth with him if there are any questions. My son's teacher, I kind of communicate with her, but he's kind of like they're kind of doing their own thing. And the crazy thing about it is, like Lydia was saying, her daughter is like, their virtual is for a couple of minutes and then the teacher's gone. My son is in class all day. Like I don't really have to do anything. He's in class all day virtually with his teachers. If he's not in with one teacher,
what grade
he's
is
in the fifth. He's in the fifth grade. He's in the fifth grade. And if he's not in class with one teacher, he has another teacher he's in class with, and then they do PE. He's getting ready to do orchestra right from home. So I don't know if it's the city that we're in. That's why it's a little different, and that's why it's being done the way it's being done. But I really, honestly, I can't really say as far as like the technical difficulties, there's been some hiccups, but as far as the teachers engaging in conversation with me and conversing with the children, I'm like, thank you God, because I literally I check in on them, making sure they're doing what they're doing. My daughter's in the second grade, so she's a little scatterbrain, so she can't really sit too long, and they give them the breaks that they need in order to get off the screen for a moment. But honestly, when they're not looking at the computer from school, they in a laptop or they're in their iPads or they're looking at TV. So they're always on some sort of screen. And I've been trying to limit that as much as possible and trying to get them to go outside. They do want to go outside and do things with other kids, but at the same time, I think they're just over the whole, we can't go, it's not really much we can do. I think that's my children's biggest issue.
How is Virginia Beach doing the, you said they're having PE, whereas we're only having physical health, strictly health, no PE.
So they're not like doing any like jumping jacks or none of that?
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's what they're doing here on the computer with the teacher. He's like, it's more like
for the first 9 weeks, they're just knocking out all health stuff. And my oldest is doing
that's more education. That's more education and more. That's more. That's
that's the education side of it. That's not the physical side of it.
But there's no physical activity whatsoever other than when I take them to go on walks yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Virginia Beach they're doing it kind of different. And now his teachers, maybe it's the teachers too, because sometimes, no offense to some teachers they aren't as engaging as some other teachers.
Yeah.
But the teachers that my children have, they're so on point. My only thing about it is the fact that they're talking about returning these children to school by the end of the month. And as much as my children want to go, I have to be mom and I have to say, no, it's not. I'm not going to allow you guys to go out there. And my daughter has asthma. I'm not willing to take that risk. I'm not willing to send her out there into this school where I know she's going to be playing with other children, not social distancing, not wearing her mask. She may wash her hands every once in a while, but she's 7, so she's going to be a 7-year-old. I just don't want to put my child in a position to where they're sending these children right back home after they open the schools up, thinking that it's going to be okay, and then it just start hitting and children start falling because they're sick.
Well, our numbers have gone up. Our numbers have gone up. Bad.
I have heard that.
Go ahead and elaborate, April. Go ahead and elaborate on the numbers that you're aware of.
The numbers have gone up by 13% in by Friday. They said we've had a pretty high jump on Friday's numbers when they redid.
Is that because they reopened everything? Because they reopened it started Thursday. Everybody's in the club, so it went back up. He should have just left it like that. I mean, I know it's hard for people have us, but they should have just left it like that for the rest of the year.
It's safety first. It's safety first.
The problem is, like I said, our governor, who was a doctor.
A doctor. I like him. I wrote him.
Yeah, I do.
I like him.
I do. I like how he's going about everything.
Who's the governor of that area?
Northam.
Yeah.
Ralph
Northam or Northam?
Northam.
He was at CHKD.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So when he comments on medical stuff and he say different stuff, you know that he really knows. Like, he's not that.
If we're talking about corona, how do you all feel about the vaccine that they were talking about administering to everyone?
I think it's
Just
way
saying.
too fast.
It's
They're
too
they're
fast.
rushing it to be the top, get it before so-called
Other
Russia
countries.
gets it,
Yeah.
puts it out. I think there is being rushed too fast.
I do think it needs to be tested more. They need to continue doing more research because from what I found out, when you come up with a vaccine, it takes 4 to 5 years to even find out if this thing
Yeah.
works. So if this is something you all just created back in what, February or whatever,
Wow.
that's nowhere near enough time to study it and to find out how it's going to affect people. And then the person that they said tested negatively from the results of the vaccine, they're not even saying exactly what his symptoms were from the vaccine. They just said it was some sort of adverse reaction. So I'm like, well, what does adverse reaction mean? What
And that could
exactly
be
happened?
that could be
No,
something
a lot of
simple,
things.
or that could be something really, really bad.
Whatever
For
it
them
was,
to
they
pause
stopped.
to put the whole thing on stop, on pause, you know, it had to be
Exactly.
huge.
Oh,
It
they
had to be
put.
something
See,
big.
I didn't completely went away from. I'm like completely they cut myself off from all medias. Like I just don't want to hear. I was just so consumed that I was like about to go into a state of depression. I was like, I got to get away from all of it. So y'all are
Well,
telling me news that I didn't know.
well, it's because, like, if they are talking about sending our kids back to school, we need to know.
Yeah.
In that sense, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying 100%. I turn my TV off when my
I don't listen to the news regularly. I probably catch up
no, me
once a
either.
week. And when
Me
I
either.
catch up once a week, it's an overload. It's too
Yeah.
much for me.
Yeah.
It's sad to me. So, but I have to be informed a little bit,
Yeah.
and I don't check the numbers as much as I have. That's why I was like, give me the numbers. I don't know the numbers because I haven't personally checked in a while.
Mhm.
But I'm pretty sure in the next 2 weeks with these kids going back to school, and even if she get marked absent 3 days until they shut it down again, I'm okay with that because I feel like they're gonna shut
Yeah,
it
because that's my
See,
concern
Norfolk
too. If
not
they
supposed
do
to be
do
back.
that, go ahead, Monica. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Norfolk made the decision they're not going back until the first 9 weeks. So they're not going to even go to deciding to go back till November. So that's a good thing with us, at least to November.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I didn't know. I didn't
think
know. Norfolk was like, we're gonna wait because how's it that Chesapeake is like, no matter what? That's what this teacher from my children's school said. He said they're definitely opening back up on September 22nd.
It's
trying to
about
ruffle your
budget.
feathers.
It's
No,
about
he was
budget. And they don't
serious.
want to. They don't, or maybe they don't have the technology, the however. But so letting these kids go back when the teachers are not practicing safe precautions is no way. It's no.
Yeah.
I always saw it. I worry about that for my daughter because I'm like, okay, she's used to drinking water, washing her hands. I knew going to school she was gonna get extremely sick because they're not clean. Even if they're clean, like places clean, they're not. They don't allow them to. They don't even allow them how to go to the classroom. Out the classroom, go to the bathroom. So it's just a rough situation.
Yeah,
And they can't. They're not supposed to have hand sanitizers around kids. So you can say, "Oh, we'll have this."
Ooh.
No, that's illegal. Like you can't do that. You can get like charged or something. It's certain stuff that
Because of the alcohol in it.
Yeah, it's anything that says keep out of reach of children don't supposed to be. But the school, all the certain places, they get away with it. But daycares and anybody that's doing however, no.
Take them straight from the classroom out to the cafeteria.
Oh no, they never wash their hands. So
and then I remember going to school. We'll go straight to lunch and go straight outside. Run that food right off.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can definitely look at it like that. My daughter, she's 13 years old. I was trying to consider letting her go to school Monday or Tuesday, and I told her show me that she could go to school and show me she got her stuff together. She come pulling out pencils and highlighters. That ain't what I want to see. I want to see masks, 2 masks, hand sanitizer, wipes in a Ziploc bag. Anything to keep you from gloves.
The thing that I'm worried about is what's going to make them keep that mask on for that 6 or 8 hours that they're in school. That entire time, there's no way.
They still. So, she still talks to all her peers that, she socialized with on her cell phone. However, I'm going to wait till the phone stop buzzing. However, she, the peers she talked to, rumors that some kid done got suspended for taking off his mask. Okay, so now that he's suspended, is he gonna be allowed to come back to school? And then if he come back to school, what happens when he takes off his mask again? So you got kids being disobedient. So that's another reason why they don't know how to, we couldn't control them in regular settings. How you gonna control disobedient kids in an environment where during a pandemic? That's
not just that, but elementary kids, they're gonna come
they
home
ain't wearing no mask.
mask on. Then be like,
Them
oh, he
kids
got a
ain't wearing no
Spider-Man
mask.
mask on. I want his. They gonna trade.
Them kids ain't wearing no mask.
Trade, girl.
They're gonna trade masks.
And
Yes.
they still sneeze everywhere. I just been getting on my daughter. I mean, she 4, but she know to cover her mouth. When she sneezes, she still like. Whoosh. I heard of the pods. Have y'all heard of the pods? What the parents are doing?
No,
So the pod is where 4 to 3 parents, however, get together and they share the expense of childcare or whatever, or tutor, and they do like the online for them. That's what parents
That's
are
not
doing.
a bad idea.
Yeah, they usually do it from the same neighborhood too. The regular homeschooling before we went to this was doing homeschooling, usually meetups at churches with other homeschooling parents and kids. So that's how they got the socialization as far as kids who were already doing nonstop homeschooling.
Is everybody's teacher that's homeschooling right now? Are they at home doing this? Because my kids' teachers are at the school.
They must be being forced to be at the school, because the first day of school, first couple days, nobody was at my daughter's school.
Yeah, because none of the government employees are back at work. They're all working from home. They're not working. They got people who work at the hospital on behind the scenes on computers and stuff, and these are people I know. They're not going back to work. Why are we so rushed to go back to work? Like, why business can go on? Essential businesses, okay, I understand. But if the essential businesses are just open, like your grocery stores and your convenience stores and your gas stations, that's still cutting down the spread, because you don't have no reason to go out, to go to the club, go out and go to school, go out and go to college. These kids are back in college. They're back in everything. And they shut one of these colleges down. One of these colleges got shut down. So many cases came out of there. And they got cases right here in the coronavirus here in Columbia, South Carolina at the college. They had over 1,000 cases and 9 teachers at the college.
They didn't shut it down, did they?
No, they ain't shut it down yet.
That's what I'm saying. It's like whatever is convenient to shut down, they shut down. But what's not convenient, they're not gonna shut down. They'll call it essential, even if it's convenient. If it's not convenient, my mom is a housekeeper. She has worked this entire pandemic. She is not an essential worker.
She is. That's essential, sure.
No, where she work at?
Oh, I don't know, but cleaning is essential.
Yeah, well, not where she work at. It's not essential.
Oh, yeah.
She cleaning hallways and stuff like that.
They could have changed the rules and held them people accountable before the send the inspector. They could have changed that all around.
See, that's why I like our governor, because he put a lot of stuff in place, and I wrote him and said so, and I swear the next day that came out in the press conference. But he wrote it, he was like, if something happened at a business, if somebody get like coronavirus, they have like a day or 2 to report it. And they can't fire the person that has it. It's stuff that he came up with that even with like
doing that though.
Our unemployment, if your company cut you off because however, it was like another thing you could have signed up and kept getting it for a little bit longer. Like, so it's just stuff that he put in place. And like they'll get fined, like up to like $125,000, all kinds of stuff. He won't plan.
Y'all really think
we're the only ones in the United States, all the states that got this safety plan for workers and like our, however, Virginia, nobody else had it. Like, I don't know if anybody else adopted it, but like we the only ones.
Telling you, and you really think it's some grocery stores we've gone to and people haven't tested positive for corona?
You're right, because Walmart,
people have tested positive at these places, because how are we essential workers and we're working in grocery stores and we're open to the public and none of y'all tested positive for COVID? I don't believe that.
Right.
But these
and some of the grocery stores
that you
go into, the employees are not wearing masks. They're not wearing nothing, especially in the Walmarts.
Because they behind that screen, they be feeling like they safe.
No, I'm talking about the employees that working at Walmart that's doing like produce and stocking the shelves and stuff like that, and people walking right past them. and they're not wearing a mask.
It's
And
super
people
Or
important.
love to
have
say
the
that.
mask underneath their chin. It's just
Girl, that's my husband.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
gonna put that mask on your face. No, leave it alone. I can't
No, I ain't
breathe.
gonna lie.
Under
I
their
be
nose like this.
no, I ain't gonna lie.
I
I'm guilty of. I sometimes I forget the mask under my chin. I be like, oops.
Oh my goodness.
Because when I walk out of a store, I
hey,
take it off.
one
and
thing
I just
about
forget.
Favor, baby. One thing about Favor, he got us. He got us, and that's what I just
Come on,
keep
Jesus.
praying. Oh God, I
Keep it
just keep
coming,
praying.
God. That's what we need. That's what we
Yes, I
need in
just
all of
keep
this.
praying because at the end of the day, it's in His hands, and if He ready for me, I guess I'd be like, "See y'all, I love y'all, but He love me more. Thank
He
you."
love me more. I got to.
God
Yeah.
dang. Oh, it
What you
was
say? He
fun
love
while I
me
was
more. I
here.
got to go.
It was fun being here, y'all. Remember me. God dang. The virtual, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because mine's is mine's a middle schooler and she's educated, but it's hurting her. Maybe you should get some parents' permission to talk to them and do a podcast on how they feel because it is diverse thoughts and they have their way of thinking as well. Like they just talking about what other kids do. They don't get to do that. She said somebody popped their head in the two different virtual classes here and yelled out racial slurs and jumped back out the virtual. But they told me it ain't no more room in virtual. How they getting the virtual? How they getting in the virtual and jumping in?
Somebody tried to sign up as my youngest daughter and say that they were her, and was yelling racial slurs as well. Luckily, she was went under her name, and it spelled her name incorrectly, by the way. So she didn't get in trouble because I was worried about whether she would get in trouble because somebody logged in as her name, just about her first and last name, but like a letter was off.
So it was like hacked.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I've been hearing that a lot too.
So the person that probably did the racial slur and probably used somebody else's account.
Well, yeah, they used my daughter's account.
No, I'm talking about here. I'm talking about here in Columbia. That could have been
probably.
not,
Yeah,
I was like,
the same thing.
They can't figure that out. And my daughter was like, I don't know. I'm like, shoot, something going on around here.
Another thing about the virtual too is for parents like me with the smaller children, so the elementary kids, it's like you have to change your life around. I lost a huge chunk of income, like a huge chunk of income. And you got, because in the end, I would be working for childcare. Literally, that check I probably would get would just be handed over to the same people that I'm working for. Like, can my daughter stay here? It's like I'm working for like a slave. It's like they didn't come up with stuff like, let us assist you in childcare. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
It's so much. With social service, I don't get anything from them. It's so much you got to jump through hoops to get. $1 over is no childcare. So it's like they should have maybe offered something like a grant, a stipend, something to help a parent. Like, let us help with this childcare, because I know so many parents, you just had to let go of job. Like, I was just at the school when I got retired, and like a few parents, like, they had to let go jobs and sit at home.
They, just thinking about it on a broader situation, a lot of farmers in the produce and the meat, they had to because they lost so much money, but they didn't give the stuff away. They let it go rotten. They killed the animals. It's so much going on in this world that we not even. It's so big. It goes so bigger than what we are because, why is it that we can't live off a smaller income? Like, why do we still need all these bigger incomes? Why can't we minimize our living, our habits and stuff like that just to have what we need for
Lydia,
a little
that's
while?
a whole nother conversation because everybody wants everything right now, gotta have it.
And the rent still do. They not
and the rent still do.
And the lights still do. So certain stuff, you like, I'm fine, and I'm living a more simpler. I was already simple anyway. I don't ask too much, but it's like, wow, I was used to serve out. So I just noticed the difference, but luckily it didn't hit me as hard. But it's just like stuff is still coming at you though, because the more money you got, the more you get. So it's like, I used to have 2 cars. The more money, so it's like, oh wow. So that's when you notice, like, did I really need all this stuff? But now I'm downsizing because of that. Not
Right.
having a second income. But
Yeah, that is a whole nother diverse thoughts. You could delete that part.
Yeah. But that goes to the school stuff. That is a real big concern because a lot of parents with the virtual learning, we had no choice but to stay at
But to
home.
stay home.
I can't leave my 4-year-old at home. There's a lot of neglected kids. Oh, my phone about to go completely there, y'all. But there's a lot of neglected kids that are staying home by themselves on the computer. But these teachers are watching. They're watching all that stuff. They're asking questions. Oh, what you eat today? Oh, who there? Tell your mom to something. So it's going to be a lot of stuff that go on with virtual. And they got to understand, I know it's bad that parents might be leaving their kids, but it's hard. Oh,
They doing you trying to do what you got to do.
She gone, y'all.
Yeah, I think she said her phone about to give
Bye,
up.
Monica.
Yeah. I had got up
Oh,
and
not yet.
Yeah.
We can go ahead and call it quits if y'all want to. Thank y'all for getting on the show today. Thanks, Monica. Thanks, April. Thanks, Bestyet. I will stop the recording in just a second, but thank y'all for getting on. I like to close the show by saying you're not always going to like what someone else has to say, but you should always be able to respect and voice your opinions respectfully. Thanks for being a part of Diverse Thoughts, and I will see you all soon.
Bye.